Hey guys, welcome back to another Helix video. So today I'm taking a look at the new 3.6 firmware version for Line 6 Helix, and I'm very excited because we finally have a true Dumble style amplifier model. In my opinion, before this, the Litigator was the closest thing we had, which is great. I love that amp model. It was an original done by Ben Adrian at Line 6. Still love it. It's been my primary amp model since basically since it got added. But this model is based on the Grammatico GSG 100, which was physically modeled after 1980s era Dumble amplifiers. It has all the modes and switches and everything, and I think they've done an amazing job. First of all, hats off to Grammatico for making an amazing amplifier, and then of course, hats off to Line 6 for doing this amazing model of it. So we're going to hop over to HX Edit. The preset I'm going to show you using this amp model is free. Look for the link in the description below if you want to download it and try it out. All I ask is you like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell for notifications. All that out of the way, let's hop over to HX Edit and take a look. Okay, so here we are in HX Edit. We're going to take a quick rundown of what's in the preset, then I'll just kind of play through it and show you what we're working with. Right out of the gate, we do have a tube screamer. We're going to use that intermittently to add some drive. Of course, the new Grammatico, we have the GSG 100. We have a couple things assigned, and I'll talk about what parameters are assigned to what foot switches, why, and let you hear what that sounds like. I just picked a couple of speaker cabinets, the Matchless and the Grammatico. Feel free to download this preset and dive in and make changes there if you want. Got a simple delay there. Well, Elephant Man, not the simple delay model, but a simple little delay there. A little compression reverb, as I am wont to do on all of my presets. So there you go. Out of the way with that bit. Here's what it sounds like. Basically, we have a clean setting right now. Drive is down to 3. The FET boost is off. Let me play this, and then I'll actually, before I make any changes, I'll kind of go through the parameters because there are some rather unique parameters on this amp model. It's pretty cool. So anyway, this is what the clean channel sounds like. All right, just me noodling around, but you get to hear the dynamics, the touch sensitivity. And I will admit, I'm one of these people that always kind of snickered at when people's like, it sounds like a real amp, but it just doesn't feel like a tube amp, like a real amp. And I'm like, what difference does it make if it sounds good? Whatever. I'm that guy. I am that guy. I will say, though, full transparency, this amp feels good. It just feels good to play. It's a little bit of a new experience for me, I guess, in the digital realm. I mean, all the amp models feel and sound good, but there's just something, I don't know, it's something about this amp model, just the pop it. It's just a very satisfying amp model to play. So there's the basic clean sound. I'm using my Variax with the Strat neck so far. I'll probably flip around. My main bridge setting is a Strat with a P90. I might do a little Les Paul sounds here and there, but basically you're hearing Strat and Les Paul tones from the guitar. So let me go through the settings real quick, and then we'll make some changes and hear some different tones. The drive basically works as you would expect, preamp drive control to work. I think on the amp itself it's labeled either master or volume. I don't remember which, but it essentially works as the drive control. Bass, middle, treble, presence. You know what that stuff does. Channel volume is basically the main volume control that all the amp models have. Master is basically a volume control that is between the pre and power amp, as I understand it. So if you crank it very high, you can get some power amp distortion in the words of the notes for the release. Basically, if you crank it too much, you can get some unpleasant tones. I wouldn't say unpleasant, but I found about halfway was the sweet spot for me personally. Okay, so here we get into more of the unusual stuff that's specific to this amp model. The mid switch is, as I understand it, basically with it off, you've got a little more of a, a Fender style sound. in terms of, pull some of the mid range out with it on. You get more upper mids, more like a British style amplifier. So with it off, now it's a little bright because I have it dialed in with the mid switch on. So if I were going to just run with this, I would probably pull some of that high end back. But so when we put the mid switch back on, you hear the body, a lot of the mids come back in. So that's my preference. The jazz rock is another kind of a EQ, change setting with it on the jazz setting, with it on the rock setting. Personally, I like the rock setting just a little better, but they're both good. Okay, so there is an overdrive channel on this amplifier. You can basically turn it on and off here and adjust the OD drive and level. To be honest, for the tones I'm going for, I didn't find that I really... I just didn't really love it, to be honest. I didn't love the overdrive channel nearly as much as I did pushing the drive on the clean channel. So that's why you see white brackets here, and I'll come back to that in just a little bit. So I'm not really going to play around much with this overdrive switch, but it's there, and you can set the drive and the level. Bright switch, basically there's 3 settings. Off, 1 and 2. I liked the first setting, just me personally. There is a bit of, there's a lot of high end in this amplifier. One of the things that Howard Dumble went for, he always described the amps he built as hi-fi. And I think maybe, I never really understood what that meant, but playing around with this amp model, it seems like, maybe what was meant by that is that there's just a higher frequency range than in a standard typical guitar amplifier. So I don't know. But if you find this preset to be a little too bright, knock the bright switch back. Another thing you could do is just put either in the cab block itself or add another EQ to this preset and do a high cut if you find it's a little too much high end for you. Okay, this is really cool, the FET boost. Basically, this is like having a boost pedal built into the amplifier. It's a FET switch which overdrives the guitar signal. So when you turn it on, basically you just get more. You get a little more breakup, but a little bit of a volume boost as well. It's a really cool thing. You see this little icon here because I have it assigned to a Footswitch. It makes a nice way to add a little extra oomph to it, built right into the amp model. Okay, so the next thing is PAB, which stands for preamp boost. I like this a lot. Basically, it boosts the preamp. Now, one side effect is that it basically bypasses the tone stack or the tone controls at this point. So bass, middle, treble aren't going to do much for you. The presence control does still play a role, it seems, based on what I'm hearing. But when you engage that, you do lose the bass, middle, treble controls in the tone stack. But for me, it's worth it because I like what it does to the tone. Sag, hum, ripple, bite. All these are parameters that are in every Helix amp model, so nothing new to see there. So there are the different unique parameters and controls of the amp. So let's get back to seeing what it sounds like. Okay, so again, just for quick references, so a clean tone. Okay. So what I've done is I've done a couple things I've assigned to Footswitches. One is the FET boost, which I'm basically leveraging that as an overdrive boost pedal inside the amplifier. So I'm going to turn that on and let you hear what it sounds like. You're going to hear a little bit more of the tone, a little bit of breakup, and probably a little extra volume. So let me turn that on. This is what it sounds like with the FET boost engaged. And I really like, there's just I think by bringing in that FET boost, to my ears anyway, it sounds like you get a little more of the harmonic content there. And, I like the way when, I'm hitting it pretty hard there to kind of show that punchiness. But when you back off and play softly, it's also very, very dynamic and sensitive. So I'm going to play a little bit with basically being a little softer in what I'm doing. So here's what that sounds like. So here at the end there, as I start punching it, there's a really, really good dynamic range. So I really like that. I like leveraging that as a different gain stage as such, built right into the amp model. All I had to do was assign a foot switch to it. It's on off. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to turn that off. And then the other thing I have is basically a foot switch that is bumping the preamp gain from 3 up to 7.5. It's also pulling the volume down a little bit just to kind of keep it even kill where I'm not getting too big of a bump when I go to turn this gain on. I'm basically treating this like as a channel switching style setup. If you want your gain to be louder than your clean, just unassign this. Right there, you're done. But as it is, I have it set to pull the volume back so we can try to keep some balance there a little bit. So I'm going to play a little bit in the same pickup position, same style as I was doing before, and let you hear what basically the drive channel sounds like the way I have this set up. So even on the neck pickup, with a lot of the drive channel, a lot of the drive volume or whatever you want to call it, parameter turned up, still, it's got a good clarity to it. Even though it's very full and overdriven, the clarity is really great, as well as the touch sensitivity is. That's what I really like about this amp model. Now I'm going to kick over to the bridge position. In this case, it's going to be a Strat with a P90 in the bridge. Just to let you hear what it sounds like in more of a a crunchy power chord style situation rather than just like the bluesy lead thing. So here's kind of the crunch tones you can get out of this setting. So to my ears, it's very like plexi, Marshall plexi kind of territory there. So, again, I like the sound of it. I'm going to do a quick little similar kind of chords and riffs with a Les Paul bridge, just to let you hear what a little different body style guitar and a little different pickup style sounds like. So, it sounds great. To my estimation, it sounds great. Now, we can combine that with the FET boost if we want to just kind of push it a little more over the top. We'll start back playing some licks and stuff on the neck position, then flip over to the bridge position. So without the FET boost, with the FET boost. So it's actually pretty high gain, to be honest, for an amp that's not necessarily a high gain amplifier. At least to me, this is high gain. I don't play a lot of heavy stuff, but so that's pretty high gain for my typical setups. So that's just changing a couple things on the amp model. That's I haven't added anything. I do have a tube screamer on this preset and a delay just to add some different flavors. I'm going to go back to the clean channel with the FET boost on and turn the tube screamer on. This is what that sounds like. Without the tube screamer. With. So, the tube screamer does what it does, adds a little bit of mid-range, tightens the bottom end up a little bit, adds just a little more gain. I pretty much have it set up with almost no gain added, but a lot of push on the level. So it's really pushing the amplifier more than it's clipping the guitar signal. And I pulled just a little bit off of the tone to combat some high end. So one last thing with the the dirty channel engaged, the tube screamer on, and the FET boost on. Here it is with bridge position. Without the tube screamer? With it? It's just fun. It feels good. Playing this amp model feels good. Honestly, doing this amp model and building this preset, and I'm actually rebuilding my own personal main live preset with this amp model now. It's the most fun I've had playing in a while with particular amp model, particular tone. It feels good, and it makes me want to keep playing. At the end of the day, you can't really say anything better about a piece of gear than it makes you want to play more. That's where the magic is. But again, link in the description below if you want this preset. It's very straightforward, not a whole lot going on with it, but the amp model is the star of the show, and you don't need to add much else. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you feel about this new amplifier? Are you into Dumble stuff, before this, after this, now, anyway? So let me know. And as always, thanks for checking out the content. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. If you are interested in any Helix or Variax presets, you'll find links to those below in the description. I do have some available on the Line 6 Marketplace, and it's always a great way to help support the channel. So thanks again. Hope you enjoyed this. Have fun with the preset. Until next time, we'll see you.